What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of RadioG. I am your host, Tim, and I am joined by my esteemed colleague, Colin.
Hi, what's up?
This is our first episode, so bear with us. We still got a few things we got to work out, but hopefully it'll only continue to get better and better as time goes on. So, yeah. Colin, what's up, man? How you been?
Good. How about you?
Not too bad. Just getting through the good old holidays. Ramping up for Christmas time, so things are starting to get a little crazy. But other than that, things are going all right.
That's good.
Yeah. So we're gonna start off our first show by talking about what we've been playing, what games we've been have been entertaining us.
That sounds good.
So what about you, Colin? What have you been playing lately?
Well, I just finished the solo campaign of Halo 4 last night, and I was very surprised. I liked it. I think it's personally my favorite in the bunch.
I finished the campaign in Halo when it first came out a couple weeks ago. But yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed Halo 4's campaign. It was I like the dynamic between Cortana and Chief in that one. It was more of a story about Cortana, but I really enjoyed it. I think that 343 really hit the nail on the head.
Oh yeah, they did a great job with the whole. I mean, just watching the cutscenes with that, it was like watching a movie.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job. So I'm excited to see what they. I checked out some of the Spartan Ops stuff. I'm not really too hot on that. Like, it's cool that they're trying to extend the story and keep that content coming, but it just seems kind of vapid. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of substance there. So hopefully, as time goes on, that Spartan Ops content will become a little more compelling. I think it's cool that they're trying to do something different rather than just having to throw a firefight in there. But I'm not sold on it yet. So
yeah, I haven't really tried the Spartan up too much. I was focused more on the multiplayer and the main game, but I'm gonna start checking that stuff out now.
Yeah, you definitely. It's cool. Like, I definitely think it's cool that they're trying to do something different. And my hat's off to them. I think that Halo 4 it's far and away the best Halo game ever made. So I think it's something that they had a really tough challenge ahead of them, and a lot of people were skeptical about whether or not they were going to be able to perform. So I think it's good that that they've come out of the gate strong, and they're continuing to support the game, and so you're going to get 10 weeks of free content with Spartan Ops. So I think that's cool that they're doing that now. Is it something that I would pay for in the future? I don't know. I don't know if it's something that I think it's really worth paying the extra money for. If it was cheap, if it was like $1 for the 5 or so episodes that come out every week, I would consider it. But it's something that I don't really know what. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah. What else? You been playing anything else? You pick up anything on Black Friday?
I did not. I was going to pick up a Wii game. I decided not to. I was going to pick up the Kirby's 20th anniversary special, which includes like all the Kirby games, and then I just decided not to. But I really do want to pick up Epic Mickey 2 because I enjoyed the first one so much.
Yeah, I saw Epic Mickey. I think it was on sale. I think I saw it at a few places discounted, but yeah.
The first one, right? The first one?
No, the second one.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, the only thing that the only game that I ended up picking up on Black Friday, I picked up Forza Horizon, which I've been enjoying greatly. So something that there's a lot of stuff. Black Friday this year was actually pretty big. They had a lot of surprising deals. A lot of games were discounted quite heavily. Like I got Forza Horizon for $15, so I'm surprised that the discounts were as deep as they were. But when it comes down to it, every year Black Friday I always buy a bunch of shit and it just sits on my shelf. So I decided that I'm only gonna buy stuff this year that I'm actually gonna use. So it's been working out.
Yeah, thinking back on it now, I know it's Wednesday, but I should have brought a Microsoft points card because I have to finish up the last 2 episodes of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I have. I still gotta play episode 5. It's lying in wait, but yeah, it's something that I'm looking forward to finishing that up and seeing how my story concludes. And I'm really impressed with Walking Dead. It's definitely right now. I've been thinking about Game of the Year and thinking about what games I think are in contention for that award, and I definitely think Walking Dead's up there. It's certainly when all 5 chapters are all said and done, it's a 10 plus hour experience, and just the amount of just depth and complexity that game offers is pretty it's pretty remarkable. So I'm excited to see what and Telltale's going to do a season 2, so I'm excited to see what they'll do with that. But
if you like The Walking Dead, I haven't played Jurassic Park, but I did like the Back to the Future series. They made like 5 or 6 episodes of that one, and that was pretty good. It was a nice new story for anyone that wanted like a Back to the Future 4. That's what you're gonna get out of it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I was considering checking out. I didn't hear great things about the Jurassic Park, but the Back to the Future I heard pretty good things about. So I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll check it out. I know they have a retail version of it out, so
yeah,
I might score that at some point and give it a go. But all right, let's move forward. We're gonna talk about the Wii U. This is the Wii U, Nintendo's new home console, launched on the 18th of this month, and it's been a pretty hot topic right now in the gaming world. It's a new system launch, new Nintendo system nonetheless, and a lot of people are kind of torn about it, and I think it's something that we should discuss this at great length, just because I want to see what our readers, I want to see what our listeners are thinking, or soon-to-be listeners are thinking about this system, and where they stand, because I think right now I don't think I've ever seen the gaming community as split on something as the Wii U. So I think what are your immediate thoughts on it? Like when you first saw the Wii U, like what was there anything about this system that was compelling to you at all?
Well, I have to start off by saying I have been a fan of Nintendo since I was, little. And the Wii U, it didn't get me excited. I got to admit it. It's not my cup of tea, I should say. Granted that I only saw or held the, store model, if you will. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the, I guess the word would be bulkiness of the controller or tablet, whatever you want to call it. I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like the feeling of having to, and not so much pay attention to a TV screen and the screen on the tablet on the controller, but it was just I don't know. It didn't like appeal to me. Not to say that it's not. I'm not gonna go ahead and slam it because I've never really played it at my home, but it's not something that right now I'm gonna go rush out and get. Like how when the Wii first came out, everyone was you couldn't find a Wii for months.
Well, that's something and that's something that I was just going to kind of segue into that. You know, you could still go out and buy a Wii U, and that's something that I find particularly troubling. Is that the Wii, like you had just stated, was non-exist. Like you couldn't find it anywhere. Months. Like it was like it came out. It launched in November of 2006, and you couldn't find that system anywhere well into 2007. It was impossible to find. Like the system was just anytime a store got them in, they sold out immediately. Like Amazon never had them in stock. Walmart never had them in stock. You know, it was like an incredibly difficult product to find. And now with the Wii U, you know, 2 days after its launch, you know, I went into a GameStop and they had them, and no one was buying them. You know, and the same thing with Walmart. And like you know, I was at Walmart on Black Friday. I'm walking around and all the Wii U software is still like jam packed on the shelves, and all the peripherals and all this stuff. It's just like no one is excited for this, and no one like usually. I remember when the Wii came out, I'm walking around the store and you're hearing, hey, do you guys have any Wiis? Do you have any Wiis? Do you have this? Do you have that? You know, and the Wii U is just like there's no hype and there's no sense of urgency with the system, and for me, I just find that to be very troubling for Nintendo because that's atypical of a Nintendo launch. It's usually the talk of the town. Everyone wants it. It's the hottest Christmas product. It shows up on on the Today Show, and people are just going nuts for it. And it's like I think with the Wii U, they really fumbled this launch, and I think and on top of it, I think there's just an extreme amount of confusion surrounding what this system actually is.
Well, is it a marketing dilemma, or is it the system itself?
I think it's well, first and foremost, I think that it's both.
Okay.
I think that from the marketing perspective, I take issue because I've only seen a handful of the advertisements for the Wii U, but it shows people using Wii controllers, like the Wii remote and the nunchuck. It's like, what are you telling your consumer? Like, are you telling the consumer that this is a new system or what? And even when I was at E3, all of the PR people wouldn't let me use the gamepad for games. Like, I played Pikmin 3, and they handed me a Wii remote and a nunchuck, and they're like, use this. I was like, what? I was like, what is going on?
And it's interesting you say that, because I just saw a commercial, and they were advertising a Wii U game. I don't know if it was Super Mario U or if it was a different game, but only one person in the commercial is holding the tablet, and everybody else is holding the Wii remote. And it's like, what's going on here? Like, did not everyone get the tablet? Is it a one person controls all, and the rest just plays like a regular Wii game? Like, how does that excite people? How is that new? Outside of your controller,
know? Well, exactly, and that's another thing that I take issue with Nintendo is that they're selling a new system that requires you to own peripherals from an older system. That's like saying, when the GameCube came out, be like, hey, if you guys want to play GameCube games, you need to have Super Nintendo controllers. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, I just think it's really unfortunate that they're still, relying on this technology to power their games. And it's like, yeah, the gamepad is supposed to be the selling point of the system. It's like, hey, you're gonna have this awesome second screen experience on this tablet controller, but only one person can use it. And I remember I saw a commercial for Scribblenauts Unlimited. It's the same thing. There's one guy sitting on a couch with a tablet controller, and everyone else is using Wiimotes. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it makes no sense. Like, if we didn't do what we do, we didn't, and we didn't have our finger on the pulse of the industry. Who's to say that we wouldn't be confused by this? Like, if I was just a regular person looking at a commercial for Wii U, I'd be like, that looks like a $300 attachment. That looks like a tablet that I can buy for my Wii. Because it's ridiculous.
And like, I was doing some research last night about the Wii U, and I was looking at the backward compatible, um, and it doesn't work the way you would normally think it should work. It just from what I read, it just basically trans like when you put a Wii game in the Wii U, your Wii U becomes a Wii. That's basically what the definition of backward compatible with this system is. It's not HD. It goes back to the regular format, and your
Well, I heard it was supposed to. I heard it upscale games, kind of like what the PS2, like PS2 games happen on PS3. Like I heard that they got upscaled. It's
oh
very
really?
well. It's not like I'm not going to say that it's like super. Like I'm not going to say like the fidelity of the game is going to skyrocket. Like
Right.
I saw a comparison video of Skyward Sword, and it looks a little better, but it's not like
Not so much.
it's not night and day. It's not like, oh shit, this looks like a Wii U game. Like no, like it still looks like a Wii game, but it's I think it upscales them a little bit, but it's at the same time it's like you're maybe gonna smooth out a few textures and the frame rate might be a little better, but other than that, like you're not looking at a humongous change in quality, and you know it's something that the Wii U, the fact that you can still buy it is telling me that people are confused about it. You know, and they released numbers from Black Friday that in the first week the Wii U sold 400,000 units, but the Wii sold 300,000 units. The Wii hasn't sold 300,000 units this in a month this entire year. Like, so I'm thinking that people are seriously confused about what this system is, and even from a design standpoint, aesthetically, the Wii U looks identical to the Wii. It has a few curved edges, but like it lays down horizontally. It looks the same. It looks
Yeah.
identical, and it's like I think a lot of obviously the box design is different, but and I guess while we're I guess this is a good segue to go into the Wii Mini.
Well, before that, I mean, the Wii U, the library of games that are coming out for the Wii U, Nintendo Land, it's essentially uh, Wii Sports, but it's not. And then obviously Super Mario uh, U, and but like Batman, like Arkham City, like is there any need for that? Is it just so we can say, hey, this is what we can do with the tablet? Is that the only reason that they're calling it the Armored Edition? Because by my understanding, it's the same game, right?
It's well, I think it's the same game, but I think it also has the DLC with it. But
Oh, it's got the Harley Quinn
yeah,
attached
I
to
think
it.
it's the Arkham City Game of the Year edition, but with special Wii U features. But
So
yeah, I don't know. It's a year old game. I played that game last October. Why the fuck would I want to play it again? Why would I buy a new system to play that?
but not only that, I mean, I can't think of a reason why that game needs the tablet. I mean, because I saw the commercials have been playing for that nonstop over the last couple of weeks, and it's just essentially the player, selecting Batman's tool out of your tablet, and then it happens on screen, and that's just like it just takes away the game from me. I can't imagine playing. You can't play something like Batman on a tablet, or even like I mean, can you imagine playing Halo with a Wii tablet? It wouldn't work. It takes the game away to me.
Well, and we had talked about this, in an earlier conversation, but I don't think the tablet is there to distract you from your objective. I think it's there to supplement the gameplay. So it's something where it's like, hey, you need to use the tablet at this point in the game. They're not going to have something else going on. Like there's not going to be something going on your TV that is going to require your attention as well. I think it's something where it's like in Batman Arkham City Lockdown or Arkham City, whatever the Armored
Armored
Edition.
Edition,
Yeah,
yeah.
like you hold the tablet up to the screen and you can do something like that, but you're performing like what you're performing on your tablet is being performed on your TV. It's not like it's not going to tell you to you need to hold your tablet up right now and you're getting like the shit beat out of you by like 15 goons.
Okay,
Like
all right.
It's there. It's there to supplement the experience. It's not there to make you like you don't have to make
to
some late
like
judgment call and be
freak
like
out.
you'd be like, oh shit, do I use the tablet or do I get my ass beat? Like no,
Yeah.
I think it's something where it's there to supplement the experience and make sure that in right now it's all novelty, and over time developers will find better uses for for the gamepad, and it's the same thing that happened with Vita. Like when Vita first came out, like
Mhm.
Uncharted, for instance. It's like, okay, this system has a rear touch panel and a front touch panel. How can we implement those features of the hardware into the game? And to be honest, it got really annoying. Like the hand-to-hand combat in Uncharted Golden Abyss is all touchscreen. It's all like swiping. It's like playing fucking Fruit Ninja. It's like it's fucking ridiculous. And then when you want to like when you're in a boat and you want to like row the boat, like you're in a little canoe, like you use the back touch panel and you just move your fingers up and down. Like
Well, it's interesting that you're talking about this because is this the future of gaming? Yeah,
well, the
which
thing
it
is, well, you got to look at it from Nintendo's perspective. Nintendo, I'll give them credit because they understand that the second screen experience is becoming more and more prevalent, and every facet of entertainment. Like
right.
I remember we had a conversation one time when we were talking about when you're sitting down watching a movie or you're watching a television show and something comes on the screen that you don't know, what do? You pull your smartphone out, you go on IMDb, and you're like, oh, all right, I know who that guy is, and or if you're in a bar and you hear a song, you pull your phone out and you SoundCloud it. Like everyone uses these devices for everything. Like so they understand that people's desire to have some sort of second screen or just supplementary experience with a device like a tablet, and not to mention just the runaway success that smartphones have had and tablets in general, like the iPad, the Kindle, stuff like that. Like it's just people are they want that experience, and even to a degree, what Microsoft is doing now with Smart Glass. The integration they have with the games is very minimal. Like it only works for like 2 games right now. I think it works for Forza Horizon and Halo 4. But it's a cool experience. Like if I was sitting there playing Halo and you wanted to look at my stats, you could look at my stats while I'm playing the game. Or if I'm playing Forza and I'm like, hey, Colin, uh, help me find this thing on the map. You could traverse the map on the iPad and then set a waypoint, and it's going to generate in my game. So I think that the ideas are there. It's just about implementation and how it's going to be better suited for the gamer moving forward. And it's going to take time for these developers to utilize that gamepad creatively. But and also like you said, one of your biggest caveats with this is you're afraid of being detached from the game. So I think that inherent challenge of finding a way to implement that gamepad that's going to enrich your experience rather than compromise it is something that is going to be just as paramount as the software itself. Like they need to like the games, they need better games. I'm not buying a system to play ports, and in even some cases inferior ports. Like Mass Effect 3, I think I read it doesn't even have the DLC. It's like, why am I going to buy a game that doesn't have DLC?
Right.
And they're going to iterate on the Wii U. They're going to iterate. They're going to have to make different versions because of where gaming is gravitating more and more towards digital. And even Nintendo is starting to, they're starting to get there, and they want to embrace the digital age, but you can't release a system that has an 8 gig hard drive and expect people to. Fuck, the original Xbox had an 8 gig hard drive. Like, come on, like you're not doing anything that is substantial, and or a 32 gig hard drive. It's like, and these games are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not like a GameCube game that maybe took up like a gig or a gig and a half because it was on a tiny little 3.5 inch disc and it wasn't HD. Like you're dealing with HD games now. Like these files are fucking huge. And it's something that I don't know. It's something that I really don't know what Nintendo's doing. Like I said, I wish them the best, and I think that I hope in time they will come to the realization that they need to move quickly, and they need to make sure that people are excited, and they're not. They're going to be excited for the system, and they have to be excited for the software. And that means that you can't do what they do with Wii and have like 1, 2 games come out a year. Like you need to have like 3, 4, 5 solid first and third party offerings every year to get people excited for the system.
Right.
There's nothing on the Wii U right now that I have any interest in playing. Like
Oh.
I saw Zombie U at E3 and it looked okay. It just that's what it is. It looked okay. Like I was like I didn't see it and I was like, oh well, I got to go buy a Wii U now or I'm gonna go pre-order one. Like no, I didn't care. I had no compulsion to play that system or to play that game or buy a system for it. So for right now, like my biggest fear right now is that there's too much confusion surrounding the system, and I think until Nintendo kind of clears the air and lets consumers know exactly what the Wii U is, I think they're going to be in some serious shit. And I think and you know they might have to learn the hard way. They might have to have a few quarters where you know maybe the financials are down and they're going to be like, well, what are we doing wrong? Or they maybe should do some market.
Here's my question about that. Hey, can they afford that? Because I don't think they can.
I don't think they can. I don't think they necessarily can afford to have you know bad financials, but I think that you know with Nintendo and just they're notorious for neglecting trends. Like they've always tried to be the black sheep of the video game industry. I'd say at least GameCube on.
Yeah, I mean
they've always tried to do things differently, and it's just like really like why are you attempting to? Why are you attempting this? Like why can't you just literally just fall in line and just
make a system like everybody else.
Exactly, and just let your software speak for it. Like they feel like they have to do these crazy, you know, like they have to implement these crazy ideas in order to, you know, create.
Compete.
Well, to compete, but also to establish themselves. That's how they differentiate themselves is by doing this wacky shit. But at the same time, it's like no one wants this wacky shit. Like I just want a controller. I want to sit down on my couch, and I want to play a game. And that's the thing that really was a turnoff about the Wii, especially for you know maybe not just like if I was playing the game, if I was playing like casually like Wii Sports with like a friend, or if I had people over, yeah, the Wii was like a great little party thing where we could like all right, you know, we'll play some Wii bowling, we'll do this, we'll do that. But then when it came down to me to play like a game like Skyward Sword or even Twilight Princess for that matter, like I came home from work and I'm like, I don't want to sit here on my couch. Like I want to sit back and relax. Like I don't want to sit there and fucking the waggle. Like I'm done with this.
And I remember holding off, and I got Twilight Princess for the GameCube, where you could you know just play the game with the controller, like you could with any other Zelda game, and as much as I liked Skyward Sword, because I liked it a lot, the whole, you know, having to raise my arm up above my head to imitate a sword, it just got tiring after a while, and that is a long game, and to be, you know, involved with it for 4 or 5 hours and have to do that kind of stuff, it just gets tiring.
Yeah, no, and that was my biggest gripe with the game was like I think it took me 45 hours to beat Skyward Sword, and it's like I'd play it and I was just like the Wii Motion Plus, it was yeah, it was accurate some of the time, not all the time though, and that's the thing that was an issue to me. It was just like I had to constantly recalibrate the controller. It was constantly out of whack. It was always, you know, doing this, doing that, and I'm just like, I really don't know why, you know, why it was doing that.
And yeah, I mean, and it brings back to my initial remark about the Wii U. It's just that kind of stuff. It turned me away from games, which is unfortunate because you know Zelda. There's never been a bad Zelda game that I played, and you want to be able to keep playing those games, or you want to be able to play, you know, the Mario games or whatever that Nintendo has to offer you. But when you have to do things that are unnecessary, like recalibrate the controller or act like a sword, eventually, because as far as those games get into, you're just gonna want to shut it off for a while and not go back to it because you don't want to have to do any more than you need to do.
Yeah, that's why my Wii it sits right now. It sits dormant. Like I haven't touched it in forever, just because I'm like when I look at the kind of experiences that are offered on the other two platforms that I have, it's like I'm gonna gravitate towards those because I want to be able to, I kind of want like it depends. Like I guess it's highly reliant on my mood, but more often than not, I like to have that sit back experience. Like I want to sit on my couch, I want to sit back.
Especially with the winter months are coming up, and
Yeah, I just want to be able to relax, man. Like I
you
don't.
want to relax. If it's snowing out, you're not going to go anywhere for a while. You want to be able to play the game at your own, comfortability, and just kind of hang out and play the game and enjoy the game as it is. And you don't want to have to overwhelm yourself with the
Yeah, no.
unnecessary, task at hand. And I feel like the Wii U, it's bringing on something that it doesn't need to. It it's trying to do something that's not going to interest a lot of people. And the whole idea of this argument is that no one is buying the Wii U, so obviously it's
Well,
not a
I'm saying
no,
people are buying it. It's just not selling.
it's not selling as well
Yeah,
as
it's not selling like it's not scarce. Like
right.
right now, like I guarantee you, like I could go to a website, I could go to Amazon and look up Wii U, and there's probably a good chance they're gonna have it in stock, or they're gonna be like, oh, 2 day waiting period.
Not even that. I guarantee you, more people are buying Call of Duty, the game, than a whole Wii U system.
Well, I think it's something that all right, well, Amazon's out of them, but I know GameStop had them in stock. I think I still got them. It's just like it's not really. It's nothing that. See Wii U buy now. GameStop has them. Let me see if they still have them in stock. Yeah, they got the deluxe set. They ship in 3 days, so it's something that like they still have them in stock, man. Like, well, they're back ordered, but like you can order it and it shows up at your house in 3 days.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well,
So you wanted to you were talking about the Wii Mini earlier.
oh yeah, no, because I think that kind of I think that just well, there's a few things that we gotta get out. We gotta clear the air real quick with the Wii Mini. The Wii Mini is a Canadian exclusive, which that broke after we had posted the story on RadioG. Um, it's a Canadian exclusive. Best Buy in Canada outed it, but you just launched a brand new console. Now you're re-releasing. You iterated again on the Wii, and you're selling it, and it comes out December 7th. So it's like you just released a new home console, but you're redesigning the old Wii. You're not making any more first-party titles for Wii. Where? I don't understand it. And not to mention, they've completely neutered the system. It doesn't have GameCube support. It doesn't have internet connectivity at all. And it's a top loader, so the electronic disk drive is gone. So it's something that
So so it's everything that the Wii has, but none of it.
yeah, it still works with all the same peripherals, but at the same time, it's like for people who so if it doesn't have internet connectivity, you can't access. I'm assuming that you can't access the shop channel. Like you can't access Virtual Console, you can't access WiiWare games.
And that was one of the big things about Wii was the Virtual Console to be able to play those old school games on your Wii was a huge deal. I know for people uh, like myself and other people I know who own the Wii. It's one of the reasons they bought the Wii was to be able to play those kind of games, on the Wii. With the Virtual Console, I know a couple of my friends had bought GoldenEye off the Wii console, and Ocarina of Time and all those old school games. And so for something like the Wii Mini to not be able to have that, what are they, what's the purpose of this?
Yeah, well, and I think that's something that you when you stripped those features out. But and the thing that baffles me is that they're selling it for $100. The system goes for $100, and I'm like, how is this worth $100? Like, you could buy over Black Friday, they were selling brand new Wii's for $100, and you could buy a used Wii at GameStop for like $80, and you can find them all over Craigslist for probably even cheaper, 50, $60. I've seen them. It's something that you're selling just a vastly inferior piece of hardware for the same price. So I don't understand it. But the thing more so than just the price and the lack of features, it's just once again we circle back to this whole state of confusion. It's like you are confusing people by re-releasing this. It's like the Wii Mini. So it's like the Wii, like you go into a store and people are gonna be like, "Oh, you want a Wii Mini, or a Wii U?" And people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like, Grandma's fucking head just exploded. She has no idea what the fuck's going on. Little Billy just asked for a Wii, and now she's got to go into the store and make that judgment call and hope that fucking little Billy's not crying like a little bitch come Christmas because he got the wrong thing. So it's like Nintendo, what are you doing? Like, stop it. Stop being stupid, and you're not you're not making any more Wii games. What was the point of iterating on that console? What was wrong with the original Wii? Yes, it's to make. Yeah, they still want to sell Wiis. I understand that. They re-release it. They iterate it. They make it cheaper to produce, to manufacture. They make more money on every Wii that's sold. I get that, but you're confusing people who are not versed in gaming. If they don't know what these things are, and that's troubling because you have to cater to those people. You advertise. Nintendo advertises not to get people like, you and myself to know what's going on. It's for the people who go out and buy gifts.
Well, it's
like the grandmas, the aunts, the uncles, the parents. They're the ones going out and buying the gifts. They're targeting the parents, but at the same time, you're confusing the parents because literally. And like I said, the Wii Mini is only a Canadian exclusive. They don't know. Nintendo hasn't commented whether or not they're going to release it in other territories. But you go up to Canada now, or whatever. You're in Canada. You go to Best Buy and you ask for a Wii. You're going to get hit with 3 options.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you don't know, the difference between the 3, you're in trouble. Like, you're going to make a really poor decision.
Right. Yep. No, you're right. The bottom line is Nintendo is lacking in this video game wars, if you want, and unfortunately, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, I think that they're still right now they're still holding on strong with like the Wii is going to continue to sell. Like, people are still going to buy Wiis. The Wii U. They need to make a concerted effort to differentiate the Wii U from the Wii, and they need to do that. They need to be aggressive about it, and they need to start making sure that people understand that it's a different console. Like, I think they should have called it Wii 2, and I think that's pretty unanimous. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet about people saying that we're not against the next Wii, and listen, like, I'm gonna buy a Wii U, but it's gonna be when I feel that the software is up there. Like, I want to have better software. I'm not going to spend $350 to get a system that is going to play the same games that I've already played. I've already beat Arkham City. I've already beat Mass Effect 3. I'm playing Call of Duty on my Xbox. Like, I don't need a brand new piece of hardware to do that. And I think that they really. And they need to have, Nintendo has always relied on their first party. They need to come out the gate. They need to make some announcements, like stir up some excitement and get people wanting to buy this console. Like, what have they done? Like, they had a new Super Mario Brothers game. which I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm done with that franchise. Like I played a lot of it when it first came out on DS. I played the one that came out. I played New Super Mario Brothers Wii, but I'm like, I'm done with this. Like, it's not fun to me anymore. It's like this formula. You guys are just really just milking this. Like, do something. Give us another Galaxy. Give us another cool, fun, original Mario title. Give us a new Zelda. Like, I know a lot of people they just want entirely new IPs from Nintendo. Well, it's not going to happen. But the thing is, give us give us that HD Zelda we've always wanted. Give us that. Give us a brand new Metroid Prime with HD graphics and real dual analog control. Like, give us these experiences, and you will sell systems. People will buy them.
Right.
I think that Nintendo just needs to really just they just really need to iron out what they want their system to be, and then they just need to stick with it. Like I think they're having a very very strong identity crisis right now, and they need to get their shit together because I don't think it's gonna put them out of business. I just think that they're gonna have another GameCube. They're gonna have another flop on their hands if they don't get it together and really start aggressively positioning the Wii U not even as a next generation console, but as just a new console. There's way too much parity right now between that and the Wii. So
Well, I think it's unfortunate. The whole marketing scheme, it seems like for the Wii U and in general, it doesn't look good to begin with. And I'm sure everyone's seen the commercials where they're all in different rooms or whatever, but it just doesn't seem good to begin with. It doesn't seem like a main attraction, a box office hit if you wanna. It, you're not gonna line up on the door to be getting this thing. Uh, Xbox and PlayStation, they have their new systems right around the corner next year, hopefully, and that once those two systems are out, the Wii or Nintendo will be in last place uh, because it's just the Xbox and PlayStation right now, even with the Wii U coming out, still those two systems offer a better game in
well,
overwhelmingly.
they released sales numbers from Black Friday. Xbox 360 sold 750,000 units. That almost doubled what the Wii U sold.
And so, exactly, my point would be, with the new Xbox next year or whenever it comes out and the new PlayStation, games will follow. You'll get another Halo game, you'll get another obviously Call of Duty game, but those are the games right now people want to play. They don't want to play, like you said, they don't want to play Mario anymore. They don't want to play. They don't certainly don't want to play a game Batman that everyone's already played on Xbox and PlayStation. Uh, and you know the the other games at Nintendo Land, like why would you? No one really wants to play that. Uh, and then Nintendo has Madden. I think people would rather play Madden on the PlayStation or Xbox or any other sports game, and it's just it's gonna come back to bite them.
Yeah, no, I think it will. Like I said, I think they need a. I don't know. I think they might need a rude awakening to maybe stimulate some sort of motivation on their end to kind of take the necessary measures to get the Wii U positioned better in the eyes of not only consumers but gamers. Right now, no game like there's not many gamers that are excited about this system.
No,
And rightfully so. Like why should we be excited? You haven't given us anything that is that differentiates the Wii U from the current generation consoles. But these questions are kind of segueing into our reader mail. We only got a few questions this week, being our first show. But yeah, what we were just kind of talking about, we got a question from Neil. Neil said, "When do you think the next systems from Sony and Microsoft will come?" What do you think the price will be, and do you think there will be multiple versions of each? Well, yeah, Neil, I think it's safe to say that both
I
systems will come out next year.
Next year definitely, and next year meaning like November.
Yeah, I think next fall is a prime time for Sony and Microsoft to release their next systems. Pricing,
We
uh,
gotta look at it. I mean, the PlayStation 4, 3, wasn't it around 400 when it first came
I
out?
don't know, more than that, dude. It was 600.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're looking at something around there.
Well,
Uh,
I'm gonna say no. I don't think Sony will make that mistake again because
no,
they hurt pretty badly because of that. They rested on their laurels. They rested on the success of the PlayStation 2 and basically said, we sold 150 million PS2s. We have a loyal fan base. They'll pay whatever we ask them to, and it
exactly.
didn't
Yeah,
happen. It backfired. I'd say for both the three or the 720 and the PS4 or the Orbis, whatever the fuck they're gonna call it, I'd say between $400 and $500 for each
yeah.
system. I
That,
think that's,
that's a safe bet.
maybe even less. I know that Microsoft has recently said that they want to come out with a 720 that is like a set-top box, kind of like an Apple TV or something, like a very just a budget model that's gonna play. It's gonna play like XBLA games, do Netflix, Hulu, YouTube stuff like that, but it won't actually play retail discs. So that's another that I don't know whether or not that's actually been 100% confirmed. But as far as the portion of your question where you asked about multiple versions of each, yeah, I think that that's pretty much the standard now. I think that these companies like to give options, and they'll put out, depending on, like I said earlier in the show, when gaming is gravitating more towards digital. I would not be surprised if you saw like an Xbox 720 and a PS3 or a PS4 that had 500 gig terabyte hard drives, because if these games, it's been rumored that the 720 is going to be used Blu-rays, like dual layer Blu-ray disc is like 50 gigs, and if that's a download, like or even if it's a 20 gig download, you need to have the hard drive space to be able to store all these games. So yeah, I think there'll definitely be multiple SKUs. It seems like that's the trend now, and I don't see that going away. But let's move on to our next question. We got a question from Kevin. It's about PlayStation Vita. What does the Vita need in order to succeed? A price drop, more games. Well, Kevin, I think it needs both. Uh, I don't know, Colin. What are your thoughts on the Vita? I don't know how much time you've actually interacted with it, but
Uh, I think that I really haven't played. I haven't got a chance to play that much, but from what it seems like and everything you've told me, it seems like it's it's the library that's lacking.
well, I think that they had a very strong surge of first party software, but it's the third party software is not really that compelling, and it's not. I think a lot of companies are kind of just they're testing the waters with the Vita as opposed to giving a quality experience. They're just putting out like a shell of a game just to see if it sells well, and then it gets negative reception from the media, and gamers are just like, wow, this game sucks. Like, why did you even put this out? And they're like, well, this is the kind of reception we get. Why should we even try? And it's like, well, if you actually gave a damn and you actually made an attempt to make a quality experience, people would actually be more receptive to it. I know they just added PlayStation Plus, so like that's huge, because that's one of the things that I'd say that Sony was doing that really made it a force to be reckoned with later in the generation, because they have the instant game collection. So like anyone who buys a Vita now, if they have PlayStation Plus, they have Uncharted for free right now, Gravity Rush, Wipeout 2048, Jet Set Radio. Like you just right out the gate, you just got $150 worth of free games just for having PlayStation Plus.
Oh,
So I think it's something that Yeah. And a price drop would be nice too. I think if they dropped it to 200, that it would be a much more appealing price. Because it is a powerful piece of hardware. It's just a lot of people at 250, they're kind of they're intrepid. They don't really want to spend that much, and I don't really blame them because you can get a PS3 for $200 now. You can get a 360 for $200.
Right.
Obviously it's a different experience. It's a mobile one, but let's move on. Let's see what other questions we got here. We got one from Wally. Do you think the Vita and 3DS can compete with smartphones?
So what? Say that again.
Wally says, do you think the Vita and 3DS can compete with smartphones?
Um, um, that's interesting because it's. I mean, how do you want to put it's? I don't think there's really any competition. I mean, there is, but there isn't. It's the 3DS uh is unique in its own in its own way. I mean, the whole 3D element to it. It's there's no, not to my knowledge, has been a 3D smartphone. Um, uh, the I mean, like the DS it's that's a very that's an unusual question. I mean,
Well, I think what Wally's trying to get at, like I don't know, he didn't really go into too many. He didn't really
like, is he
specify.
talking about the like
I think he's talking
the
about.
hardware? Because
I think he's talking about like the games. All right,
the
well,
game,
if we're gonna look at
right?
it from a games perspective, uh, I think.
I think they hold their own. I mean,
Well, I do think they hold their own, but I think the reason why more people are gravitating towards having like iPod touches and smartphones for their gaming and tablets for their gaming experience is that it's a much it's a very pick up and play, and then pick up and put down. Like it's you can have a very casual but also meaningful gaming experience in a very short amount of time, and it's that instant gratification of smartphone and tablet gaming that people are attracted to. And I think that in order for the Vita and 3DS to make themselves more attractive to consumers, they need to offer those kinds of experiences. Like there needs to be dollar games on the eShop for the 3DS. And Vita has PlayStation Mobile now, which you're going to start seeing these cheaper, budget price games coming out, these indie games, if you will. So I think that Nintendo needs to get on board with it. They need to initiate some sort of program. Like if they took every original Nintendo game and put it on the eShop for $1, they would sell millions. They would sell millions of copies, and it would cost them nothing to do it. So it's just like it's free money, Or if they took their game, like Nintendo games, and they put them on iOS, they would make millions of dollars, like just stupid amounts of money. And I think it's I think the Vita and the 3DS, they offer, obviously the production values, and even that is even starting to kind of like you're hitting that gray area where it's like there's certain games that are being developed for tablets and smartphones that are looking just as good, if not better, than some of these games being developed and produced for dedicated handhelds. Like the line is starting to blur between the two, and it's actually quite remarkable how far like gaming on a cell phone has come. It's ridiculous.
I know. I guess the way I'm looking at it is, and maybe I'm digging too far into the question. Is that like is he saying, is it like, when in terms of games, is he saying like, can a DS game compete with like Angry Bird on an iPhone? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. I wish he was. I wish he was a little more specific with his.
Because if that's the case, then no, I don't think that. I think eventually, over time, that the games on a DS and Vita will overcome the games on a cell phone.
Well,
Right now at
well,
least.
I'm
I
saying
mean,
right now, yeah, but I would say I would submit this to you that the production value of tablet and smartphone gaming is just mobile gaming in general is getting
oh, it's very high.
the
Oh yeah,
fidelity of these experiences is only continuing to increase. And
Oh yeah,
I'd say
absolutely.
right now that the Vita and the 3DS, they do enjoy, they do enjoy these higher, uh, yeah, they have higher production value. They also have, higher. They also have more dollars to play around with. A lot of these, like you look at some of these indie developers, like they might have 20 grand to make a game, where Nintendo can spend $5 million making a Super Mario game, and if not more. And
And I guess on the flip side to that is, if you have a Vita or DS, you actually have to physically go out and buy a game for it. Where on the iPhone, you could just go to the App Store, go scroll through the games, and pick whatever one you want to play. It download in about 3 seconds, and there you go.
well, and I'm saying another thing that I think that Sony is doing better than Nintendo at this point is that every game that comes out on Vita is available digitally and at retail. So I think that they're becoming more cognizant of what consumers want,
Mhm.
and it's digital libraries used to be, myself included. I used to hate digital. I was like, no, I'm spending $60 on a game. Like, I want to own that. Like, I want to hold that in my hand.
Yeah,
But even now, I'm getting far more receptive to the idea of digital, just because, you know, continuing to buy all these games and trying to find a space for them, it just becomes very stressful, and it's also it's very encumbering just to have all this stuff lying around. And I think that the next generation of games, you're gonna see some sort of implementation, like a Steam or an Origin on these consoles. That's gonna be like, you want a game, you buy it through here, and if you don't want a game on here, then that's it. Like, I think that retail, obviously, like box copy games are still gonna be around, but I think that we might have maybe a generation left of that where it's. I think that digital is gonna be the proprietary means of getting games. Like, on PC, you can you're hard pressed. Besides, obviously, like maybe some larger department stores, but if you go into a GameStop, the only PC games they have boxed are like big titles like World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Guild Wars, nice, like Old Republic, some of the shooters that come out. Like, it's very, like, they have a very just small selection of boxed PC games. Because
right,
everything's bought online now. Everyone uses Steam. People use Origin. People use good old games. People use all this stuff. Like, they like, or even Amazon for that matter. Amazon has a pretty robust PC download center now. But it's something
right.
that you really, and the PC community is larger than all the consoles combined.
Right.
And so it's something that if a community of people that large is satisfied with that form of delivery, then you bet your ass that these console manufacturers are going to take notice of that, and they're going to be like, all right, well then this is what we're going to do, because 300 million PC gamers don't give a shit. Why would these people give a shit?
Right.
So I don't know. I'd say we have another generation, maybe two, of actual physical retail games, and then I'd see that disappearing permanently. But all right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for our first show. About hitting about the hour mark right now. So we're gonna our website. You can find me and Colin's stuff on at radiogencast.wordpress.com. We're on Twitter. Radio G's Twitter handle is RadioGen1. Colin is on Twitter at C_Hecht, HECHT. I'm on Twitter at Tim_Utley, last name UTLEY. You can also find us on Facebook. It's just facebook.com/RadioG. But yeah, no, it's yeah, like I said, we're gonna try to record this every single week. So make sure that you Facebook is facebook.com/RadioGen1. You can find us on Facebook, like us there, get more of our stuff. But yeah, we're gonna record this every week. If you guys have questions, you can send you can write to us on our website. We have a podcast submission page. You can send it there, or you can send an email to radiogen1@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll read your questions on the air. And yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, have a good day.